Hey, welcome to another video. We're super excited today because we're going to share with you the 5 questions our team asked to be able to go over to EXP. As a rainmaker, I had to address all those questions. Before we begin, click our subscription button, click the bell for notifications, and you'll be notified of any of our future videos that we share. So the biggest questions that we have is, the first one we had was KW culture. It is amazing culture. It's God, family, and then business, right? And that's truly what they focus in on. That's really powerful, only because it's too many times we pour so much time and energy into our business that we're left kind of empty and kind of lonely. So their culture was amazing. The MREA book, the Blue Book, the Shift, the One Thing, like this company's been around forever and they've really mastered a lot of great things. Why would you leave that, right? I get it, right? So we had to answer those questions to our agents, and the reality of it is the answer to those questions are nothing really changes. We take those models, we take those systems, we take everything that we learned with Keller Williams, and that's half the agents or more probably using those models at EXP. They're not like a broker specific model. So there's nothing to change there. We still run our business based on a lot of Gary Keller's information. It's just genius. It works. He knows how to be a millionaire real estate agent. He knows how to do budgets. Now, it's not necessarily unique to them. That's information that is non-brokerage affiliated. Like any real estate agent, that book's been sold to people outside of just KW, right? So it's just those that use it are the most effective agents in the industry and run the best businesses, honestly. So that was a big piece. Having Kevin and Fred and Andrew come talk to our team and back the walk, or back the talk, I should say, and walk the walk was huge for our team. Like, for them to show up and go, hey, you guys are important to us. We're not going to leave you on an island. We are literally going to be part of your culture. And not only that, we're going to give you opportunities to meet with other like-minded people like us that truly care for you all. The second reason that people had questions was growth, fear of growth and being uncomfortable. How many changes have you made in your life where you're like, woo, this is amazing, I can't wait for this change, right? Yet they've had the biggest impact in your life. You know, unfortunately, some of you guys may have gone through divorce. That's not something that's an exciting change that you may or desire to go through. Yet sometimes you realize on the other side, maybe it was the right decision, right? And you both needed to do that in order to, have some peace, to, grow yourselves. You learn a lot from each other. So anyways, I don't know why I use that example, but that's an example, right? Like, change is painful. It really is. But the biggest growth comes from being uncomfortable and making change. I'm not a quick reaction, quick decision guy a lot of times. So I'm not a hold my beer guy. I mean, well, okay, my team might disagree with that. I do some crazy things. However, in theory, right, when I'm making big business decisions, I'm a little methodical. Like 2.5 years, as I've mentioned on some other videos, to watch this model play out with close personal business partner relationships that I have. Did I miss an opportunity? Yeah. 2.5 years being in the company looks a lot different. Financially, I could have made a lot more money, if you will, and the team could have as well. Yet it wasn't a risk I was willing to take. And I was at a different time in my business too. MAPS coach, interim OP, those type of things. So in any event, like, that is change is fearful, right? Look back at any time in your life. And most of us don't go like, oh, I'm so excited about changing to a new brokerage. Yet the way the business proposition is, it made it natural and easy. None of our team, after hearing the message and giving the conversation around what the benefits were, even batted an eye. I think I got 14 agent partners on our team. Only one stayed behind. The other 13 came over. And some of it's part of leadership and trust, and a lot of it is also the benefits and the value model of EXP. The next thing we talk about is virtual, right? And the virtual world can be a scary place. Our team is a little bit younger, so this doesn't necessarily apply to them, but I can see where others might be scary, right? According to the National Association of Realtors, the average real estate agent is a 54-year-old female. Technology perhaps looks a little different to them than it does to a 24, 26, 28-year-old, right? And I bring that up. It's not necessarily about age. It's just about, it can be a little bit scary knowing that you're going from a brokerage and an office to a virtual world. What the hell is, this EXP world where we're running around like avatars and we're dancing and stuff like that. And it's like that can be freaky. That can be a little bit scary. But that's the business. Business has obviously been moving that direction and has been that direction for at least 2 decades, right? So nothing to be scary about there. And we better be willing to learn technology because it doesn't go away. Right? Just because you turn an eye to it doesn't mean it's like all going to go away and we're going to go back to licking and sticking envelopes and writing checks. Like the youth today don't even know how to write a check, for crying out loud, because they don't have to use checks. Everything's kind of like automated through Venmo, automated bank accounts, things like that. The fourth thing that we had to answer is kind of the brick and mortar question. Like, hey, every Keller Williams Market Center has a building. Yeah, well, they do, but they also charge you a $3,000 royalty to cover that building space. And they were obviously to charge rent for the offices. Most people are being charged for dedicated rent space, maybe not drop-in space, right? But dedicated office space. So I bring that up because, with COVID, let's face it, I worked at IBM. I left them about 7-8 years ago, and the previous 15 of my 20s, so let's say we go back 20 to 22 years, we were working remotely then. This isn't a new concept, working from home. It's proven to work. Now, obviously, it's up to the agent to work and not go like, oh, I think I'll do laundry. Oh, I think I'll clean the kitchen. And you really should be lead generating. However, virtual models work with technology like Zoom, with your cell phones, right? With FaceTime, all of that stuff. You're connected. It's just a matter of you're not face-to-face on all occasions. So with that, I know EXP offers the Regis facilities, and that's exactly what we will take advantage of. In the case where there might not be a Regis by us, we're using library space to do team meetings. Like they have private free conference spaces where we can go in and do that. I think successful business owners, honestly, if there's a value to it or a need to it, would buy some commercial space. They'll lease out the other side units, so they're drawing some income and revenue off of it. And then they can use one of those spaces themselves. Yet I know that's not for everybody, but it's certainly a strategy of how to grow your wealth. I think the fifth thing that people have questions about is, what about the training? And isn't EXP a recruiting company? Yeah, right? So the point to that is training is great at KW. They got numerous training awards. Whatever company it is, Swanpool or something like that, whoever it was gave them like 5 years in a row or 3 or 5 years in a row of the best training company. They finally retired it, as the story I heard was like, you can't just keep winning this because it's not fair for everybody else. So eventually KW was just retired as the grand champion, and then they allowed others to start winning the training awards. It's almost like going to the Hall of Fame. How do you match that? How do you beat that? Well, the challenges sometimes I found is they're very market center, like localized training. And once you grow to a certain level in your business, you're not quite getting the same training. And I get it, right? Why would a market center leadership bring in someone to just train 1 or 2 people that are running a really high level business? I get it, right? They're not likely going to do that. There's not a value for 120 other agents when only 2 or 3 of you are getting that value. So this model certainly allows this virtual world to be scalable, right? More flexible. So I now can get on a stage, or we can have Jay Kinder, or we can have, you name it, Andrew Franklin, get up on a virtual stage in the EXP world, and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people can just walk in and sit through virtually the training of somebody. The message doesn't change if you're face-to-face or if you're on video. It's the same message. It's all English. So anyways, point being is they offer like 30 to 40 classes a day. It's done by the biggest of the biggest and the best, so on and so forth. Training is not an issue. The second thing of that is the recruiting. Like, who wants to recruit? Well, I do. All right, I do. However, I want our agents to be production-based success levels. And so with that being said, they certainly are able to produce. And I think when I went to the EXP conference, only like 13% were actually getting rev share. So that means out of 87% in the company weren't recruiting. So this whole, like, people feed into stuff. Like when they get defensive, like other companies, they throw out these messages that just resonate. Like people are like, that don't know anything about the EXP model, are like, ooh, they're just recruiters. Ooh, the numbers don't back that up. Do I think that there's some some bad recruiters in the EXP model? Sure, but I think that's just like there's bad agents in the industry, right? Every company has them. I'm not a recruiter. I want to put business propositions in front of everybody. That's an EXP proposition. That's my value add. Is senior level people are not bought into the sales pitch of a company. They're bought into the model, and they're bought into how does it benefit them as a business owner and their organization. When you start looking at it as a partnership, and does it make sense? It doesn't make sense for everybody. I'm the first one to say it. I bet it makes sense for about 95% of the people, right? So anyways, recruiting is not what EXP is all about. Yes, there's some incentivized programs to be able to recruit people in or agent attract people in. Yet the right people come from value, and they come from, does this partnership make sense? So we're gonna wrap up this video. So today, I just wanted to share with you the 5 things our teams had questions about, and they kind of dug in a little bit at the very beginning. Yet when we really just were honest with them and shared the opportunity with them and the benefits, all of a sudden that tension was less and less, and it turned into an excitement. That's what it is. You just gotta be open-minded and listen to what the value proposition is from any company and evaluate if it's the right fit for you or not. All right, thanks. Put some comments down below. Click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, and we'll see you on the next video.